You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, y'all. Bernie Sanders releases policy on reproductive just for black women. That's right. Reproductive health services for black women. Black women are much less likely to have access to family planning resources and are 3.5 times more than likely to die in childbirth than white women. Joining me now is Dr. Victoria Dooley, a healthcare activist and Bernie Sanders surrogate. First and foremost, what makes this plan so significant? Is it better than what previously was introduced by Senator Harris or Senator Warren?
Absolutely. It's
How
better.
so?
Senator Sanders has a plan for, number one, Medicare for all. And through Medicare for all, you can make sure that all people who are pregnant have health insurance their entire lives, not just when they're important. This is better than some politicians who suggested extending Medicaid for an extra year.
Well, Dr. Dooley, I got to ask you this. I got to ask you this here. I understand that Bernie Sanders talked about Medicare for all. We saw what happened, how difficult it was to get the Affordable Care Act passed. Okay. Let's say he is not able to get Medicare for all because, frankly, the votes are not there because Republicans control the Senate. How will his plan help black women if he becomes president?
He will make it a law that it will be illegal for providers to discriminate against women because of race. And when you think of something about implicit bias and healthcare bias, when doctors don't believe black women, they die. So he will make it illegal for providers to discriminate against women because of their race or their religion or other factors. He's also going to enact other policies that are going to reduce toxic stressors in the African-American community. Toxic stress kills. And so he has a plan to cancel all student loan debt, all of it. He is the only candidate who has a plan to cancel all student loan debt. That alone would decrease the racial wealth gap between young black people and young white people down from 12-1 to 5-1, just by that one policy, canceling all student loan debt.
But let's stay focused on the health plan and how it impacts black women. So you talked about obviously with Medicare for all.
Through executive action, reverse all of Trump's dangerous policies. He's going to make sure that when judges get appointed, they support Roe versus Wade as law.
But 1 second.
He's going to make sure that those crisis pregnancy centers.
Hold on. First, you mentioned executive orders and then federal judges. So when you say executive orders, you said he would sign executive orders reversing Trump's policies. What specific policies in the healthcare area?
He's going to make sure that crisis pregnancy centers do not get Title X funding. Those are centers who basically they try to discourage women from getting abortions. They don't provide any sound evidence-based treatment. So he's going to make sure that they don't get funding. And he's going to increase funding for Planned Parenthood and other organizations that do provide sound medically based care for women.
But I got to ask you, how does he do that with executive orders when that's actually a function of Congress?
Senator is going to make sure that all the cuts that Trump has passed to make it harder for women to get reproductive services that they deserve are reversed. If you want to talk about his policy to make black women decrease black maternal mortality, he's going to increase funding for hospitals where most black women deliver. Black women deliver at a concentrated number of hospitals. And so he's going to make sure that they have the funding to hire social workers and care coordinators who can follow those women through their pregnancy and make sure that they have the resources that they need to have a healthy pregnancy. He's going to let midwives, doulas, nurse practitioners practice at the full extent of their license. He has a plan to increase the amount of physicians of color. When patients are cared by Black doctors, Black patients get better care when they are seen by Black providers. So by expanding, he has a plan to make all HBCUs, public universities, public college tuition free. When you eliminate those financial burdens and barriers to people of color obtaining higher education, we can get more Black doctors, more Black nurses. And by having more Black doctors and nurses, we are therefore going to give better care to Black women. Research is clear. When patients of color have doctors that look like them, they have better health outcomes.
All right.
He's going to make sure that hospitals have national standards to deal with postpartum hemorrhage. So a lot of times Black women die because they bleed to death. And hospitals that are in areas where are concentrated where a majority of Black women deliver, they accept a lot of Medicaid. And so they don't have the high reimbursement that they need to implement evidence-based protocols
Gotcha.
to prevent women from hemorrhaging and dying. So he's going to make sure those hospitals get the funding that they need to institute evidence-based protocols to make sure that women don't bleed to death and die during pregnancy.
All right, Dr. Victoria Dooley, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, so a lot of y'all always asking me about some of the pocket squares that I wear. Now, Robert don't have one on. Nope. Now, I don't particularly like the white pocket squares. I don't like even the silk ones. And so I was reading GQ magazine a number of years ago, and I saw this guy who had this pocket square here, and it looks like a flower. This is called a shibori pocket square. This is how the Japanese manipulate the fabric to create this sort of flower effect. So I'm going to take it out and then place it in my hand so you see what it looks like. And I said, man, this is pretty cool. And so I tracked down, it took me a year to find a company that did it. And so they make these about 47 different colors. And so I love them because, again, as men, we don't have many accessories to wear, so we don't have many options. And so this is really a pretty cool pocket square. Now, what I love about this here is you saw when it's in the pocket, you know, it gives you that flower effect like that. But if I wanted to also, unlike other, because if I flip it and turn it over, it actually gives me a different type of texture. And so therefore it gives me a different look. So there you go. So if you actually want to get one of these shibori pocket squares, we have them in 47 different colors. All you got to do is go to RolandSMartin.com/pocket squares. All right, so first of all, that graphic is way too small. So tomorrow we're going to run it right down here all across the screen. So it's RolandSMartin.com/pocket squares. All you got to do is go to my website and you can actually get this. Now, for those of you who are members of our Bring the Funk fan club, there's a discount for you to get our pocket squares. That's why you also got to be a part of our Bring the Funk fan club. And so that's what we want you to do. And so it's pretty cool. So if you want to jazz your look up, you can do that. In addition, y'all see me with some of the feather pocket squares. My sister, who's a designer, she actually makes these. They're all custom made. So when you also go to the website, you can also order one of the customized feather pocket squares right there at RolandSMartin.com/pocket squares. So please do so. And of course, it goes to support the show. And again, if you're a Bring the Funk fan club member, you get a discount. This is why you should join the fan club. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video. You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.